Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Monocle. This is the first episode of this year, and today we're gonna be reacting to some Tinder profiles. And we're gonna see what women are looking for in men, or actually what modern women of today are looking in men. Ooh, let's have some fun.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just go through a couple of videos today and videos. We'll just go through a couple of Tinder profiles today and see how they look like, how realistic they are, how many people could probably theoretically fit into that bracket of desired or desirable people on Tinder. So we can dive into it. I can read the first profile, and you can say what do you think. What do you think about it? So we got D. She's 35 years old here, and her profile goes, "Hey, here are my non-negotiable deal breakers. So don't swipe right." Swipe right meaning like or like match. Okay, so swipe left is GTFO.
Decline.
Okay, so don't swipe right if you are short. By short, she means 5'11 or less. Live with your parents or have within the last 5 years.
What? Not only do not have to. What?
So you need to bring proof.
You need to. You need to find your last address where you live with your parents, your new address, and make sure you know the time frame is not 3 years, not 4, but at least 5 years. That means that you had 5 years to develop yourself, to build yourself, your character, and who you are as a person, as a man, so you can be at least a little bit interesting to this woman. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So we're starting very nicely. Swipe right once again. Don't swipe right if you have roommates, if you have never been out of country. Okay. So vacations, travel, and so on. If you do not go on 2+ vacations a year.
This list is now what? You're almost halfway through it, and yet the amount of people, her pool of men, is rather shallow already.
Okay,
Something is on your mind.
something. What I want to say is but the problem is I know the list and I want to read through it because I have one specific person in mind that would have all of the requirements, and that is a homeless person. But honestly, like everything on the list is something that a homeless person has. So let's just go through it. So 2+ vacations a year, at least. So does it mean 2 or 3?
It means at least 2, but 2 or more.
Okay. If you watch MMA or boxing, so we're going to specifics right now. So she probably had an ex that was Henzi. Okay. Do not swipe right again if you like anime. So all the One Piece fans.
I guess I'm off the list.
Ah man. Do not have a clean home if you work less than 30 hours a week. Okay, so anybody with a part-time job
Yeah.
or anybody that's a
Doesn't matter how
millionaire.
much money you're making if you're working less than 30 hours a week. Next.
Okay, if you will need to work past the age of 65, once again, getting into the specifics, and we're talking about 30 years time, I'm guessing, if she wants a person that's about as old as her. If you have ever cheated,
Finally, we have a proper requirement. I'm okay with this one if you don't want somebody who cheated in the past.
which debatable, because how do you prove that?
You don't.
I mean, the requirement stands, it's perfect, but Yeah, okay. So if you have kids, if you have cats, if you don't love Mexican food, I.
I not
So
getting
what do you think about the Mexican food? That's very important.
that. What do I think about Mexican food? I'm okay with Mexican food.
What I think, if you ask me, once again, is she probably knows how to do only Mexican food. This is what I'm reading from this. So if you don't love Mexican food, I have nothing to offer to you.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. She doesn't sound like somebody who would cook and who would make food for
I don't cook, I don't clean.
yeah.
If you are awkward in person and if you do not take initiative. 16 non negotiable deal breakers, man. 16.
And it's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. From this list, what would you be okay with leaving as a normal requirement that somebody could have?
Okay. Good question. I like that. Uh, what are some realistic things? Okay, I would say live with your parents, for a guy at least. Live with your parents. Have ever cheated, have kids. That, I don't maybe necessarily mind it, but somebody can, whatever. And that's it. The question that I have for you is, you as a guy, are there any things from the list here that you would look for in a woman?
That would be a deal breaker for me
Yeah.
in a woman. No, I suppose I wouldn't like a woman who ever cheated. However, that would be very hard to prove, and you would have to learn about the person, get to know the person, and eventually learn the truth. And then have kids. Perhaps this would be a bit of a tough one for me, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, the kids one, I think is the biggest deal breaker that could be there.
Yeah,
Not everybody will accept kids, and pretty much if you have kids, you can't just roll back, and revert to factory settings. That's it. Kids
yeah,
are gonna be with
exactly.
you forever.
And this is not even about the responsibility part. It's more about what if the two of you don't work out, and then, regardless of your relationship with the kids and how you maybe grow attached to them, now you have to leave.
Hmm.
This is very hard, and it's kept down for anybody who's strong enough and willing enough to go into something like that.
Yeah, and there is one other thing maybe for the kids as well that when I think about it a little bit more, it's also a deal breaker, and it's that whenever a person has kids now, so I can now say just from my perspective when thinking about a woman, if she already has a kid prior to me, there are two things that I find problematic probably, and it's first, it's gonna be a bit harder to have my own kid if I plan sometime in the future, especially from the perspective of like I'm gonna find it hard to care the same amount for a kid that's not mine and a kid that's mine, for that not to be like visible to the kids. And the other part is, you will never be, or at least I would never be, the top priority for that woman. It will always be, like, oh, the kid comes first, then if I have some time, I will make some time for you, but that's it. That's the two things that.
Yeah. So this is other than these, yeah, other points are just ridiculous
To be
stuff.
honest, pretty stupid. Yes, yes.
Makes no sense. Are short, less than 5'10", 5'11", actually, 180. That to me is
Is not short, first of all.
yeah. I mean, okay, minimum 180 is Look, if that's what you prefer, sure, you go for it. Uh, this is just, one of those arguments that are seen over and over again.
Yeah.
Men who are short are not acceptable, but then women who are less than desirable weight, oh, then we have some issues. When in reality, a man can today be 150 for all we care. Nobody's gonna really. You don't need a tall man anymore because we live in such a cultured and civilized world today that you can be a normal person in the city and nobody's
Height
gonna.
doesn't mean
Yeah,
anything.
doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
However, if you look from another perspective, the taller you are, the more imposing you are, the more strong of an presence you can have. So yeah, I understand why you will prefer a taller man. However, for you to have these kind of standards and characteristics, you also have to offer a lot on the table. I don't really see that happening.
So let's just maybe take a step back and think about also the other part of the story, which is, she is a woman that's 35. So I'm just gonna, like home run it straight out of the gate and say, yeah, she's a bit on the older side of the dating market, meaning she's already not a very, very optimal prospect to start a family with. And it's like, okay, cool. So what do you bring to the table at this point? Because if you bring entitlement and you're not really in your prime anymore, meaning prime being young and fertile, what can you offer besides that any other woman besides you can't? This is the part like where you really have no negotiating power in the
Yeah,
whole story.
exactly. So when creating profiles such as this, perhaps you don't want to list your non-negotiable deal breakers, but rather be a bit more open-minded, meet a person, see if you like them, if you click together, and then simply while you're meeting the person, go through your own list in your head. Don't say it outright loud, and see if you are willing to tolerate or not some of the things that perhaps you would outright reject from the list, as you say here.
And this is the thing, like even if you honestly, I don't know why would anybody put together a list like this and be open about it like that. So isn't it much easier to just don't have any list, like, reach out to me, let's talk about it. You find out about this through half an hour of talk. You just ask the person, where do you live, like the normal questions that you usually ask somebody when getting to know them, and you can then easily disqualify them based on what they respond without honestly looking like a bitch like this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, any man who is on Tinder and is looking to find somebody to date or whatever, this kind of list would not be so pleasing to the eye. Rather, it would be appalling. You would see it and be like, who's gonna mess with this shit? And then just swipe left.
I mean, it's all
You're not
that.
even gonna read the list. You're just gonna see a lot of letters and be like, fuck this.
That's one option, and the second option is you will see this list and you will take it as a challenge and say, okay, I'm gonna, get in, do my stuff, get
Get
out.
out.
Yeah, just to see if I can do that.
Yeah. So yeah, perhaps be more careful with lists like this. So to end this video, let's just say that these profiles are either absolutely delusional, fake, or outright blatantly stupid, and the person behind the profile doesn't have a single chance with any normal self respective guy. Like, no. So I would say the profiles for today are a swipe left for anybody who's watching, and thank you for watching our videos. Yeah, please leave a like if you like the video. If you didn't, also.
Don't. Yeah.
Yeah, also leave a like because we need support, but no, I'm kidding. Leave a comment if you found it interesting, if you have any comments about the profiles that you saw. Subscribe and ring that notification bell so you are notified every time we release a video. Thank you for watching, and until next time.